Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Karen Buechs, and I'm the host for the evening. Tonight, I have a wonderful, inspiring story. He's a dear, dear friend. He shouldn't even be here, but he made it. God's on his side. Please welcome Andrew Botieri.
Thank you, Karen.
I can't help it.
Well, you got started. Give me one of these, will you?
Yeah, I can't help it because it's such an inspiring, it's such a miraculous story.
Yeah, it truly is.
But we've known each other a long time.
Yes, we have. Yes.
And you were also good friends with my husband, Ken.
Yeah.
And the four of you had a show called The Three Amigos. And sometimes it was +1 or +2.
Yeah.
And you had a ball.
Oh, we had a blast.
You were great on it. It was funny. It was politics.
Yeah.
How you felt, and boy, did you guys!
We didn't hold back.
You laid it right on the line. It was wonderful, more than me on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was wonderful, and you're a musician too.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? You played.
Yeah, I played it. Oh my gosh, I played all over. I just did acoustic solos, sang. Came back and I just was a closet guitar player. I started doing open mic nights.
You right at what the hotel?
It started at Burt's.
Oh, Burt's.
Burt's with Mike Landers. Got me started.
Yeah.
And then I just started to, because after I came back after being sick in 2000, I needed something to keep me busy, so I focused on the music, and so I did that for 17 years until my lungs got so bad that I didn't have the stamina not only just to stand up for 3 hours, but to sing. I actually lost my voice for quite a while from all the spastic coughing that I was doing.
You're a local Plymouth boy.
Mm-hmm.
Family, everything here locally. But you were out west when it first hit.
Correct.
Arizona?
I was in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah.
Loved
Talk
Scottsdale.
about that.
Yeah, I had. I just had a feeling when I was got out of college that I just this area wasn't for me. And as they say, you hear that calling, "Go west, young man."
Oh yeah.
And so I started off in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I have a cousin, Paula, and her husband Jim, who lived there, but during the summers they're out on Long Beach.
Oh.
So that's where we were for the 4th of July.
Nice.
So I stayed with them for a while till I got on my feet and got into radio advertising, and then got in with the Apartment Guide, which was a big company, 57 markets, $400 million company.
Yeah.
And I rose through the ranks to eventually becoming a regional director and national sales trainer. Then I moved to Phoenix after the big earthquake in Southern California where I was, and Northridge earthquake in 94.
I remember it.
And then came back got recruited then to be vice president of sales and operations for a startup company called allapartments.com. So at this time, both even in newspapers, they were taking all the print and putting it online. Remember all the want ads left the newspapers, all the car dealers left the newspapers, and everything went online. So we did the same thing with the apartment listings. And this was only 98, and it was the first time that you could actually go online to search for an apartment. Now, everything we do is online. So
how were you feeling, Andrew?
Then I was, I've always been a workaholic, because I loved what I did. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that might be not a blessing, if you will. But then our venture capitalists married us with Realtor.com.
Oh, Realtor.com.
We created Homestore.com, which at the time was the largest real estate site in the world, online real estate site in the world. And we took it public in August of '99. So it was total stress dealing with venture capitalists.
I bet.
William Randolph Hearst III used to sit next to me in meetings. He was an interesting gentleman.
I heard.
And Will, as he liked us to call him. But I noticed one morning I woke up and my hands were hurt and my feet were hurting. long story short, I was in October of '99. I was diagnosed with scleroderma, which is a rare autoimmune disease, has no cause, there's no cure, connective tissue disease. And in June 29th of 2000, I just had come back from a national trade show in New Orleans, and my kidney shut down. I was rushed to an ER and almost died in the ER. Matter of fact, my cousin's husband, Jim, was did the marketing for the Arizona Heart Hospital where I was rushed to. And the head doctor came out and he looked at Jim and he shook his head and he went, he has no right to be alive. And so everybody was praying for me. And the next morning, I came out of my coma and spent 6 months on dialysis. And my poor parents had to fly from Boston to Phoenix, not even knowing if I was alive or not when they got there. So it was at that point I was gone for 17, 18 years. And Mom and Dad were in the hospital with me one day, and I just looked at her and I said, it's time to come home. Yeah. And so I moved back to Plymouth. I grew up in Hanson, but I moved back to Plymouth where all my relatives was, my grandmother at the time, my little Ida. And
Mike Botieri is
Mike,
your cousin.
Yeah, and he's actually in the new book.
The ex-police chief.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I love him.
And rabble rouser.
Yeah, I love him. Love him.
Yeah, great guy. And so I started to, people were talking about my whole ordeal again. Miracle number one, that I was even alive. And so, people said, you need to write a book. I go, no, I don't. They go, yeah, you need to write a book. I go, no, I don't. I had written an article about it that got published in some national magazines. And then more people said, you have such a story that will inspire other people. And that's when I ended up writing A Celebration of Life, a story of hope, a miracle, and the power of attitude.
Celebration of Life. Yeah.
And that was, matter of fact, not long after it was published, Kenny and you had me in and interviewed me on that book.
Yeah.
So it was, but it's still so relevant today. It's all about reassessing our lives, family traditions, but also we got to listen to our bodies. And I know I caught my scleroderma from stress. I was working 70, 80 hours a week. Wasn't working out, wasn't eating healthy, wasn't taking care of myself. And as I write in the book, the good Lord took the proverbial 2x4 and went, wake up, Andrew. And since then, I'm on that continuous journey of finding balance in my life and helping other people realize that, you gotta take time out and smell the roses.
Well, this last episode was horrendous, but you had taken the reins. You said you were so bad. It was your lungs, your kidney. You were gray.
Yeah.
Couldn't even get upstairs. You were on oxygen. It was time for a transplant, actually 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell the story.
Well, after the kidney in 2000, I was fine. About 2015, 2016, when I was working out, because, amateur athlete, so I worked out all the time. And I noticed I was getting very winded. Long story short, I went to Boston Medical Center where my scleroderma doctor and pulmonologist were. And they did a pulmonary function test and a CAT scan. And they said, you have interstitial lung disease caused by fibrosis from the scleroderma. And it's typical. I have systemic scleroderma. So it is not only externally, but not as bad, but it goes internally and it can affect your internal organs.
That's terrible.
Most people that have it, it'll affect the kidney, the lungs, and then the heart. And I had heart involvement too, because your right side of your heart pumps blood into your lungs. Your left side of your heart pumps blood through the rest of your body. Well, because I had fibrosis in the lungs, my heart had to work overtime, so I had an enlarged heart and ended up getting pulmonary arterial hypertension as well. Then it just kept getting worse. I was on oxygen. Just when I again, just physical activity. When I was sitting, nothing. When I slept, I didn't need oxygen. Came back from a trip with Europe with my sister Karen, visited my brother in the UK, went to Normandy because that was always a dream of mine. And I knew again that if I was going to have a transplant coming up soon, I wanted to get Normandy checked off the box because as we talked about off air, that there's always that chance that I wouldn't have made it off the operating table.
Right.
Then we flew to Venice, and then we went to visit our family in Cento and Ronazzo in north of Bologna.
Oh, beautiful.
And came back, and I was just totally exhausted. Called, talked to my family, and I said, I think it's time that that we move forward with the lung transplant. And as I was telling you too, I asked God for a sign, and I happened to be watching a movie on Prime called Rust with Corbin Burnson. And at the end, he gives a sermon, but it was God talking to me. And so I texted my family, and I said, I can't talk right now because tears were flowing down my eyes. And I said, but I got the sign. We're going to move forward. And so I called Dr. Hawkins, my pulmonologist at Boston Medical, and I said, let's go. And so at that next day, I gave everything to God because it was so overwhelming.
Yes, that's the best thing to do. And what happened to you once you gave it to God? I
had no anxiety. I had no fear. I knew that He was with me every inch of the way.
Yep.
And even when and even in getting the book written, I knew that I had a timeline. So the book, Magical Espresso Machine, I finished in August. I got listed October 2nd.
What is the title? The
Magical Espresso Machine.
Okay, why?
It was one of these things where the story came to me when I was thinking about, what if I never left this area? What if I didn't go to the West? And then it was like, well, what if my grandparents never married?
Yeah, what if you could go back to the Stone Age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, what if my great-grandparents never met Generosa and Cesare, which is Caesar in Italian? And Karen, all of a sudden, this story laid out in front of me. I mean, so like some of my songs I've written, it was divine intervention. I really felt that. And so there's two parts of the book. The first part of the book takes place in Italy, in Emilia-Romagna region, which is Bologna, Cento, Ronazzo, where my family's from. And it's pre-World War I, World War I, and post-World War I. And doing the research because when Italy went to war with Austria-Hungary, it was all that northern territory that they had taken from Italy.
Right.
And so, but, the Caporetto War, Isonzo campaign, the death and destruction. Almost 700,000 Italians died in World War I. So
almost a million people.
Yeah, and there were over 1 million with all the injuries.
Yeah, it was devastating.
Oh, it was. And so there's these two teenagers who happen to be Cesare and Generosa, and they meet. They're teenagers, and they really know that this is it. They're the ones, and so. They sort of have a Shakespearean love story.
Wow.
And so they're, the magical espresso machine begins when he's courting her, and back then you had to have chaperones.
Yeah.
So they go to her uncle's cafe, Angelo's.
Yeah.
And they're sitting on the stools, and behind them is this big old-fashioned espresso machine.
Like in the North End.
Exactly.
They have them, yep.
Exactly. And a matter of fact, in the book is a picture of
Is it silver with
gold? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's this big.
Yeah, they're huge.
So there's a photographer in there taking pictures of the restaurant because he wants to put him on Angelo wants to put him on the wall. And the photographer sees this cute young little couple sitting there, and he asked if he could take their picture. So he took their picture with the espresso machine behind them, and just before he took the picture, this lightning strikes, and the lightning like goes right through the cafe and just lights it up.
Wow.
And so that's sort of where the beginning of the magic begins.
No kidding. Yeah. I love that.
So they get the photo back, and it's a black and white because that's what you did back in 1913, 1914. Wow. But there's a blue aura around the outside of the border of the photograph.
That's enlightening.
And so the photographer's like, I don't understand. And so that theme of the blue aura, blue light, goes through the whole novel.
That's wonderful.
And then tragedy strikes, and with World War I tears them apart. And so Generosa eventually opens up her own cafe years later, and her uncle gifts her this espresso machine. And so that's sort of where we leave the first part of the book in Italy.
All right, but we want people to read this book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want you to tell people what happened this last time when you were in the hospital. You said it's time.
Yeah, I said it's time, and so I had a year and a half of evaluation, test after test after test. First, Brigham Women's denied me because of the scleroderma, because of the esophagus and stomach issues. They don't want you to aspirate with a new set of lungs. But Mass General took it. And if not, I would have either had to go to New York, to Philadelphia, to Penn, or to North Carolina. I would have had to stay there for over 9 months if Mass General denied me. Because, again, it's about statistics. But Mass General took it. They worked with other patients with scleroderma. So wonderful. I felt so more comfortable. And so I got listed October 2nd. The book came out October 25th. So the lady, Michelle McGrath's PR firm, we had lined up all these interviews and, paper interviews, newspaper interviews, and libraries and bookstores. And then I got the call November 18th. I was heading into the South Shore Hospital for my weekly pulmonary rehab because they want to make sure that you're strong enough so when you do go to surgery.
Right.
And they say, yeah, this is Veronica from the donor organization, and we've got your 2 lungs and your kidney. And I was just like, wow. So I had to pull over the side of the road and gather myself, call my brother, and I said, meet me at Mass General. Picked up my sister on the way, and we went in there, and that was Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. They got me prepped in the OR, and at 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning, my brother, sister, and sister-in-law were staying at the Wyndham next to Mass General.
Yeah.
And they called my brother, and they said, it's a go. And so they called him at 4:30 that morning. We got the first lung in. They called him at 7:30, a few hours after that, and said, we got the second lung in. We're going to let him rest for a few. Called him back at about 9:30, and they said we got the kidney in. And he's resting and he's doing well.
It's a miracle.
I was the first patient in the history of Mass General to have a dual lung and kidney transplant.
Of course you were.
So every time I go back, I ask them where my trophy is.
Yeah. Well, the doctors,
they're amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and there are only 4 lung transplant doctors, so you don't know which one you're going to get. And I had Dr. Cresco, who was just fantastic. She was just wonderful.
A female.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Hey, I don't discriminate.
Yeah.
And but between them and the nurses, what they call the PCA, patient care advocates, they were just over the top.
And you were there how long?
I was at Mass General from November 18th through December 12th.
Yeah, then.
And then from there till January 9th, I was at Spalding Rehab Center in Cambridge.
In Cambridge.
And they helped me walk again because I had a hematoma in my left leg. And after doing, they hit a nerve and the whole leg went dead.
Oy.
And they were hoping that I'd get my leg back. I was too. But so I couldn't walk. I had to learn how to walk all over again.
Wow.
And so
Andrew.
Hey, as I say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And people say, how'd you, and I just said, how'd you make it through? And I go, the Shawshank Redemption movie, when Red and Andy Dufresne are leaning up against the wall, and Andy says to Red, you got to get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I really owe a lot to my brother and sister-in-law. They moved in to my house.
I read all their
Oh, yeah,
things.
Donna kept everybody up to date.
Yeah, it was great. People
was
were
wonderful.
So happy to hear your progress.
Yeah.
And it was tough. It wasn't a piece of cake at all.
No, I couldn't talk for like 2 or 3 weeks from being intubated. Well, they had to intubate me twice.
Yeah. I hate that.
And the kidney I had to get because one of the drugs they give you is called tacrolimus, and it's an anti-rejection drug. Because when you put a foreign organ into your body, bodies tend to reject it.
Right.
Like when you get a splinter and it all pusses up.
Yeah.
That's the body rejecting
saying,
that little splinter.
Like yeah.
So because I only had 40% of my kidney function from the first time, that they were afraid that with the tacrolimus being so strong, that it possibly could shut the kidney down.
Yeah.
So they first were going to do what they called a safety net, where they would do the kidney transplant later, because the dual lung was enough. Was pretty crazy to begin.
Huge.
But then they came back and they said, we aren't sure we question your survivability. So I looked at my family and I said, we got to do all 3. And they said, let's do it. And so that's what we...
and you gave it to God.
Yeah.
And he took care of the rest.
He sure did, and he still is.
Yeah, and your purpose in life is to help others, what you have been doing.
Yes.
So you have websites and...
My website, andrewbotieri.com, where you're able to get, both books. I'm administrator for called the Scleromen Facebook page, where we have 435 men from around the world that are on the site, because men have different issues with scleroderma than women do.
Yeah.
And I'm also part of the other scleroderma. So always on there helping to give people hope, and we pray for those, because we seem to lose too many of our sclero brothers and sisters.
I see those and say a little.
And I just want, again, June was Scleroderma Month, and I kept posting, because I just want people to be aware and to know what the symptoms are, because it comes upon you so quickly.
What are the symptoms, Andrew?
Well, it's going to be different for everybody, but scleroderma is under the family of rheumatoid arthritis, along with lupus, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, and Stiles, and so many other ones.
I've heard of all of those.
Yeah, and it's usually it starts off as stiffness, skin. The name scleroderma literally means hard skin in Greek.
That's right. You told me that before.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and it affects roughly 300,000 people in the U.S. And
there's no cure.
Nope.
They don't know what it stems from.
No, it's not hereditary. Sometimes they think it might be environmental, but mine was from stress.
I believe it was.
And I think stress is a
killer.
Silent killer. Cancers and blood diseases, and just I think it's
As I got older, I was always aware of what's going on with my body, and caught many things. Yeah. And people would say, how'd you do? Well, you got to be aware.
Yeah. Got to listen.
Without being a hypochondriac. Now, that's a trick.
Yeah.
You know, but you just, quietly, you know something's going on. But I find the best way to handle it is to give it to God, because it's going to happen, and He's the best one to take care of you. And,
when you got to, again, you got to listen. So when you get an ache and a pain, and don't go on the internet and Google stuff.
No, don't.
Jeez, unbelievable.
Because you will scare yourself half to death.
Yeah. And so, matter of fact, when I was still at Spalding, and my brother would bring in, because I had people that were ordering my book off my website, and Donna would get the email and say, well, these people are buying your book. So I had my brother come in with stacks of books, and I'd be signing them while I was laying in my bed in the hospital.
That's fantastic. Did the doctors buy?
Oh yes, and my brother left a celebration of life with the doctor, with the girls, with the nurses as well.
Yeah, I love this book. Did you get this book? Close up.
The Warren House, North Street and Main
That's
Street.
That's North Street. Yeah. I miss Racone, North Street. But JC's Cafe,
Jace's Cafe.
Andrew Louis Botieri.
Yeah.
The Magical Espresso Machine.
Yeah.
I love this title.
Yeah. And then Generosa is actually the great aunt of Marie, who's the main character in Plymouth, and is also the aunt of Ida, who is Marie's
So
nanny.
none of this is made up. It's real stories.
Nope, it's
elaborated upon.
The names are real.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to honor my family in Italy. I switched last names.
Yeah.
For instance, in the book, Cousin Mike is a patrolman.
Of course he is.
And he sees the blue light because the espresso machine eventually made it to Plymouth.
Yeah.
When Generosa passed away.
Wow.
Then Marie, after she has her child Jace, she opens up a cafe, and so when Generosa passes, they send it to Marie, and she picked out the Warren House to have her cafe. And so Mike was on patrol. Now in the book it's Mike Almeida, because that's his mother's maiden name.
Maiden name.
So I've got him in the book. And so I use.
What did he say?
He, of course, Mike. He's, and then he marries his high school sweetheart.
Of course.
And her name is Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl.
Cheryl. So I got them two in the book. But then, so this strange light keeps coming out of the cafe. That's why if you really look at it, you can see the blue light coming out.
Yeah.
And so when Mike would go to investigate, the light would just shut off. And the blue light actually becomes almost a character in the book.
It shows up at very special times.
Late at night.
Late at night.
When everything's closed.
Listen, I want to thank you for coming on this show.
Thank you.
You and I are friends, and you'll be doing a Three Amigos at either
some
end of
point,
August or September sometime with Tim Grandy, Wrestling Brewster, and Steve Lyden.
Yep. Yeah.
So Three Amigos plus one.
Comes back.
I love you.
I love you too, hon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be here next week with a wonderful guest, Kara Ciprolo.
Oh, I know Kara.
Yeah, I love her. See you next week. Tune in.